There are so many clients that have been asking me about this term called hoovering. Hi, I'm Dr. Janie Lacey, and I want to talk to you a little bit about this term called hoovering. First, let me tell you that it is a behavioral term used to describe more times than not a narcissist or someone high on the spectrum of having narcissistic tendencies. And this is when someone uses emotional manipulation to lure their partner back into a toxic relationship. This term comes from the concept of the Hoover vacuum, where a narcissist in particular will suck up the happiness from their previous partner in order to get them to return to them. Usually, we will see this behavior come on the heels of a separation or a breakup, where one partner attempts to remove themselves from the relationship, while the other one does everything in their power to regain the control by getting you back. Well, why would someone hoover, right? Let's talk about it for a minute. Why would someone hoover? You know, the short answer is control, right? So hoovering behaviors are meant to pull the previous partner back in so that they can go back to the feeling of having a sense of control and essentially a boosted ego, right? But in theory, hoovering is a last ditch effort for someone with a distorted worldview, we might add, to regain control. But in reality, it's a masked manipulation tactic that, if successful, leaves the other person feeling trapped, confused, and unable to see the situation clearly. So what type of people typically hoover, right? So while anyone can typically, or technically, I should say, engage in hoovering behaviors, when we talk about it as professionals, we're generally more specific to narcissistic relationships. And what's important here is that there's a very large number of individuals who display narcissistic tendencies despite not fully falling into our diagnostic category of narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. So while it's accurate to say that anyone can engage in hoovering, it's generally individuals with multiple narcissistic tendencies who will be most likely to demonstrate this type of dysfunctional behavior. So let me just say that. But what does hoovering look like when it's happening? You know, someone who knows their partner is trying to leave them and probably knows how to manipulate them, will pull anything out of their toolbox that can tug at their partner's heartstrings. On one hand, this can involve elaborate gift giving or the good old love bombing, cover that in a different video, where the person will make too big to be true promises to distract from the reality of the relationship. Yet on the other hand, hoovering can manifest in psychological forms of blackmail or that sow doubt and insecurity in the person trying to leave the relationship. But if you're married or dating for a long time, the longevity of the relationship sometimes is also thrown around a lot. Plus, if there's kids involved, there's another level of guilt that you may be associating with breaking up the family that someone can throw on you. But let me give you 10 quick signs of hoovering. There are 10 specific signs to look out when it comes to hoovering. And the first one is sending lovey-dovey texts after a breakup. Have you received that text? I'm thinking about you. I miss you. Number 2, they come up with random reasons to see you. They forgot something at your house. They'll reach out for, just random reasons, such as needing help with something or remembering that they left something at your house, are usually the typical ones. And 3, threatening you with self-harm, which we see a lot of times in these cases where there's hoovering and trying to manipulate the person to not leave them, making threats of self-harming behaviors if they're unable to see you or talk to you. 4, the good old love bombing with you, over the top gestures, overly complimenting or showering you with praise, or sending elaborate gifts or other unnecessary surprises. 5, giving long overdue apologies, apologizing for prior abusive behaviors and promising to be different to make changes. 6, making empty promises. They make promises that they'll engage in self-improvement attempts and they'll be a different person. I'll go to therapy. I'll do all the things that you're asking. 7 is offering to keep things casual. Let's just be friends. Let's just pretend as though nothing has happened and attempt to re-engage in a casual manner. And number 8, trying to reach out through family or friends, having friends or family members reach out to you on their behalf, This is a great way to not only muddle the situation, but frame you as the bad guy to the people that you care about the most, essentially. And number 9, reaching out on holidays or special occasions like your birthday, and as a reason to text or call you Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. Or number 10, the good old just accidentally contacting you to strike up a conversation, sending accidental calls or texts in order to get you to answer or return their attempt. Well, what should someone do if they're being hoovered, right? So awareness is key. So when it comes to preventing or stopping the cycle of a toxic relationship, it's kind of like, AA. The first step to healing is recognizing and admitting that there is a problem in order for a problem in the relationship. But I know, especially as we get older, we can have a real aversion to starting over and being single. But if you look in the grand scheme of things, the thing you'll regret the most is sticking it out in a relationship that doesn't serve you. It's okay to request or even demand for them to stop contacting you. And most importantly, seek help from a professional, mental health professional, to learn more about coping and safely separating from the toxic relationship. This is Dr. Janie Lacey, and this is all about hoovering. You can find me at www.janielacey.com, or don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here on YouTube so you can follow me and get all my new videos.